Alright, what's up, y'all? Let's talk about this new game, the First Berserker Khazan. Now, this game was surprisingly good for what it was. I was not expecting it to be this good. I'm gonna answer some major questions that I've heard floating around. What does this game remind me of? It reminds me of a Dark Souls combined with a Sekiro combined with Neo. They make it super anime, flashy style, very fast paced, and this is essentially what you have when you combine all of that together. How does the game feel? The game feels great. It feels very fluid, very fast. I love it. I only went through the game with the greatsword, so I cannot speak for the other weapons, but the greatsword feels so much faster than what I was expecting when first going in with it. The bosses in this game are absolutely epic. They are crazy long, they are crazy good, they are crazy long, crazy good, and just love the boss fights. You're probably gonna struggle a little bit against these boss fights your first run through, but once you get it down, once you get some of the mechanics down, it's a very enjoyable experience when you start seeing the patterns in the bosses and start taking bosses down. What's the difficulty? Also, some of the difficulty, like difficulty wise, this game feels pretty easy compared to some of the Souls games, but it depends on the player. If you play a lot of Souls games, it will probably be very easy to you. If your only experience to a Souls game is like Elden Ring, this might be kind of difficult for you. If you haven't like challenged yourself in any other Souls games or Sekiro, Dark Souls, or Neo, you might have a problem playing this game because it is very fast paced. That's the stats. The stat allocation is very simple. You have your life, you have your endurance, you have the three stats that are tied to the weapon you decide to use. The three weapons are dual wielding, greatsword, and spears. Depending on what you use, the playstyle might be completely different. All I know is I used the greatsword, it felt great, I stuck with it. Beat the game with it. I am kind of sad that this game is over now. This game is completely single player. There is no online aspect, even though it may look like it. It looked like they may have planned to add some type of co-op or PvP in the game, but they decided to go for a single player route. The replay value, I was very concerned about the replay value of the game. Because there is no online aspect, there's no multiplayer, the replay value of the game depends completely on the type of player you are. Like, there's a lot of people that play Devil May Cry for hundreds of hours, even though you can probably beat the main story in like 20 hours and then never touch it again because you already completed the main story. But some people like to challenge themselves or play through again, do flashy combat things. If you're that type of player that likes to do something like that, this might have a lot of replay value for you. So what New Game Plus does, after the final mission, you will completely reset the world and you will go back into it, but you will maintain the number of jarlings you found and the crystals that you have destroyed when going into that New Game Plus cycle, so you don't have to go and destroy those again. When going into the New Game Plus, you're going to be well above level 100. You're going to find different tiers of weapons and items, and that is essentially going to be the replay value of the game. If you love the combat and enjoy the combat so much, the New Game Plus of this game is just going to be more of that combat. Everything is going to be tankier, everything is going to do more damage, like how most New Game Pluses do it. So let's sum it up. The game was great. I love the game. I'd probably give it around an 8. Just because there's no multiplayer, there's no online aspects. I'm not sure how long I'm going to play this. The game can have replay value, but the replay value is not something for me. That's why I'm giving it an 8. But other than that, I didn't really have much problems other than some clipping of the hair inside of the weapons and armor that you're wearing. I love the combat, love the sound design, the performance was great. I love the characters, the voice acting. For the English version was surprisingly good. I was not expecting this. The cutscenes are so well done, it was very surprising how good some of these cutscenes were. The story is kind of a basic, bare bones. It's giving you an objective and you're going here, going there, trying to progress the objective. I'm not going to spoil too much on that, but it does its job with a lot of flashy introductions of bosses and enemies, and a lot of flashy introductions of bosses and enemies. That was the main highlight. There's also a lot of things where I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's a lot of things mid-boss that are really cool too. A lot of the animations of the bosses are really fluid. I didn't see much jankiness when fighting these bosses or enemies either. Everything just felt so smooth playing this game. Anyway, final score for me, if I was to give it to a score, it would probably be around an 8. That's because it doesn't have the replay value, and it was kind of just a bare bones storyline, but a lot of the cutscenes were really good, a lot of the action was really good. I loved a lot of the in-game moments of this game, the secrets, the figuring out the best way to combo enemies, figuring out the ways to overcome certain situations that seem damn near impossible, struggling against bosses for half an hour, then overcoming that objective. It felt just so good. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, leave a subscribe and leave a like, maybe a comment. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Very well. This is what is required. We now enough! We have but one goal: to restore order to the netherworld. Then help me, and I will help you do this.